welcome back to another edition of the Just in Time Podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and as always, we've got Will.
So, my guy,
What's up?
I'm good, brother. Just really great weekend of baseball, man. Just like non-conference competition, really test the guys. They really impressed us. For the most part, they really had a dominant showing. But we'll get to yesterday in a second, though. But I just want to enjoy the wins while we can.
Yeah, the Jack's
Yeah,
Classic
man.
Live Like Lou Foundation Tournament champs, your LSU Tigers.
Yes, man.
We had some
how was it up there?
lows. It was nice. It was nice. No complaints there.
Yeah, I bet.
That was a beautiful
Yeah.
ballpark. Really easy place to get in and out of.
Mhm.
Hotel was nice. The atmosphere was really good. They had the PBR over there too, which was good. They had a lot of stuff going on. The games were good. Some of the early games, though, they had just resodded the field. So during some of the early games, every time they had to play on the infield, it felt like they were going out there and patting the sod down and patching holes. But,
Whatever works.
our guys got started on Wednesday last week and
right,
made
brother.
quick work of
The Colonels.
Nickel State. So we've got Zach Cowlin with a win and Ricken with the save. We scored 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, and then 3 in the eighth off of a bomb by John Pearson.
Yeah, that's indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pitching looked good that day for the midweek, Innings-wise, let's see how many pitchers we used. We used 4 pitchers. 5 pitchers, I'm sorry. Strikes to walks, not that bad,
Yeah, we talked about trying to get efficient. That's the one thing I want to see. That's what we were talking about last week. Can they cut it down some with the pitch counts?
Yeah, I tell you what, we are missing, in my opinion, infield and left field.
Yes.
These teams are getting doubles. Those teams are getting doubles and triples off of balls hitting the left field corner that he would be at by the time they get to first base and have the ball in the infield when they get halfway to second. They would think about it and they would go back.
There you go.
But guys like Brown, Curiel stepped it up this game. Brown, Caraway hit a grand slam right after I had said last episode that it was a borderline call for me on, I think, offense.
Yeah.
Between him and Dardar. And as soon as I sit down in that stadium, the first thing he does is hit a grand slam.
Like he took it personal. Like Dardar took it personal with me too. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, so we get that 12-1 victory on Wednesday, and they fly out to go to Jacksonville. All right, I'm saying that because all of this is going to play in later.
Yes.
So then we go to Jacksonville, and I'm going to go through this because I think this is the game. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to go through this inning by inning. All right, so first we go Curiel single through the right side. Brown flied out. This park played huge. Okay? It played huge. So when I get to this, just keep that in mind when I say some of these home runs over the next 3 games, because I think we only had a couple. So we've got Brown flied out, Pearson struck out swinging, then York single to left center, and Curiel advanced to third. Milam single to right, scoring Curiel. That ended that inning. We were up 1-0. So then Kason Evans comes in, and we go a ground out, a pop out, and a ground out. Looking good.
Yep.
We go top of the second. Aaron Beatty single to the right side, to right field. Dardar popped up, and then Simpson hit into a double play. Indiana gets up in the bottom of the second. Strikeout, a ground out, and then a line out to Kason Evans. Nothing to it. All right. LSU comes up to bat. We score 1 we get a single to the catcher from Caraway. Curiel gets on a fielder's choice, and they throw Caraway out at second. A drop foul ball.
Right.
Then Brown walked. Curiel advances to second. Brown advances to second. Curiel goes to third on a balk, which honestly I still don't to right now have any explanation on that balk. I was there. I looked right at it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. But we got a run, so that's all that matters. And York flied out to center field and scored Curiel from third. And then Milan reached on a fielder's choice, and Pearson was out at second. So here we go, the bottom of the third. This is where Case and Evans gets into a little bit of trouble. Fry single to the pitcher.
Yeah.
And I think this is what threw him off because it hit right here on his, not on his throwing side, but it hit right here on his glove side. I thought he made another fantastic play, but then Decker grounded out to short. And here we go with the reviews. They start reviewing. He's out on the thing. Then we got a walk, a mound visit, another walk, and we put Williams in. Advance to third. We got an advance to second and advance to third. Another mound visit. Then we've got a single through the left side of the infield to score a run. Then another run scored on an interference, not the interference call. This was a call. Apparently, when Aaron Beatty probably should have let that ball go foul. Like I said, we had a lot of mental mistakes in this game. And a lot of just a few chinks in the armor here and there, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you with that.
Yeah, and it started here, but this one was called, I think they said it was a throwing error, but I think it was called unearned. And then I think another run scored on when he threw that ball, it went got caught underneath the fence behind home plate. I think that was the official calling. That's what I was told. So rough inning there. We get strikeout to end the inning. Then nothing for LSU in the top of the fourth. Nothing for Notre Dame in the bottom of the fourth. Then LSU strikes back and gets two on a Milan single and I think a couple of walks to blow the bases, and we get 2 runs in that inning. They don't get anything in the bottom of the fifth. Scoreless 6th inning. We don't get anything, but they get 2 across in the bottom of the 7th on a throwing error. Bunch of mental mistakes here, you know?
Yeah. As you rallying them off, man, just look.
Yeah, y'all are going to see me doing this weird thing with my hand. It's because this camera is zoomed in on my face, and can't figure out, it won't go back to where we need it to be. But whatever. So 7th, we don't get anything off of Milan leadoff double and a walk, and then we strike out looking and fly out in the ground out. But this ground out by Dardar in this inning, I've never seen a team use the base path as much as they did. Not the base path, I should say the base, as much as Indiana did in the first 2 days of this tournament. They get one that perfectly is a line shot and a double anywhere else, hits off of first base and bounces to the second baseman coming at it to get the out at first. Then in their game 2 the next day, they hit one up the middle. The second was a tailor-made double play ball, bounces off of seconds and shoots in the right field. You know, but they scored 2 off of singles and well-placed plays. Here we go. The top of the 8th inning. York crushed it. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of it or saw the home run or anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he hit that
got
ball.
All of it. He got all of it.
And he hit it over, and that thing was a straight up. And I think the home run rule is it had to go above the yellow line. They said it went above the yellow line.
Yeah.
And
I know because they had like
that
the brick
video
on the right side. They had the brick and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that video and still cannot figure out where that ball went. I still can't figure that out.
That was a massive play. Man, they needed that.
He massive started us off for what would be a 9-run inning for us because that was a 3-run home run. Our doubles to right field. Beatty advanced to third. Milan scored. Reeves singled to second base through a beautiful bunt. Not enough to get him on our list, but that was a beautiful bunt, you know. Then Brown grounds out to first, grounds out to the pitcher, but it still was enough to score us a run. Then Braun singled to center, and Curiel scored. Notre Dame did get 2 back in the bottom of the eighth, but that was Curiel line in the top of the ninth. Curiel sack fly to right to score Aaron Beatty to make it. I think the final was 14 to yeah.
Yeah, so, Indiana only had, 8 hits on the get they scored 7 runs on 8 hits, which is impressive, but we had 18 hits. And like you said, going back to what you were saying about we had 3 errors in the game, so it was a little sloppy, but I mean, just the 10 runs in the bottom 2 innings, the last 2 innings of the 14 runs, I mean, that's about as clutch as an offensive performance you can get.
Yeah, and I think I told my uncle this game, LSU's tendency to have to come back against these teams in the bottom of the later innings of these games and put up big
Mhm.
innings was gonna come back to bite them one day.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I knew.
But I've never seen so much sloppy play. We left 15 runners on base and had 3 errors, you know? By the way, for
Yeah.
this game, Guidry got the win and nobody got a save.
Man,
So, let's
long
move
come away with
on
the
to
team win, I'm good.
we're gonna go on to the next game. They looked
Irish.
pretty good in this one. We had 1 error,
Yeah.
which look, Dardar made a fantastic play on that ball for this error.
Mhm.
Had more than enough time to set his feet. I don't know if it was like the sod in the infield or what was going on, but he threw that ball away. So we
Yeah,
had
so, yeah.
9 runs on 12 hits and 1 error. We left 9 on base. Cooper Moore with was fantastic,
Yeah.
you know.
Once again.
Once again, he was just fantastic, lights out. Got to give it to him. He had 6 strikeouts and he walked 1 and gave up 3 in 5 and 2/3 innings pitched. But we go through. We
Right.
didn't have nobody had anything in the first. Um, we go to the second. Simpson doubled down the line and Caraway doubled down the line. They just swapped places and we got some runs. And Dardar doubled to start
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
first at
sure.
bat. So we had 3 doubles and got 2 runs. So that's good. Notre Dame didn't do anything in the top of the inning. Bottom of the third, Dardar again singled to right field. Milan was hit by a pitch. Brown singled. York singled. Aaron Beatty infield fly. Dardar singled to right field. Cerna singled to right field, scoring runs. And then Simpson walked to bring in, with the bases loaded, to bring in a 3rd run. So we got 3 in that inning. Nothing for Notre Dame in the top of the inning. Aaron Beatty puts a bomb to dead center. It was 410 feet to
Yes,
the wall, and
that
he
was
put it
a
above on the
shot. Oh
batter's
my
eye.
gosh. That was a shot. Oh my
It
goodness.
got a, it got out of there in a hurry.
Lord, why wait?
Yeah, and that was a 2-run shot. So we scored 3 in that inning. Or no, 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 no. We scored 2 in that inning. I'm just gonna keep
Let's
going.
see. Pull this back up.
We go to the 5th inning. Notre Dame finally gets on the board with a single. Then LSU doesn't do anything in the bottom of the inning. Notre Dame gets on 2 more on the board with a 2-run shot to left center. But then here come the Tigers right back, get 2 more. Milan scored on York advanced to second. Brown advanced to third. Milan scored on a wild pitch. Cerna walked and advanced everyone. So another bases loaded walk. That scored 2. Notre Dame gets 1 back on a walk with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, and then we get 2 strikeouts and a strikeout and a line out. Nothing for us in the bottom of the 7th. Then we go to the top of the inning and we strike out the side. Brown singles up the middle. Brown singled to center field. We didn't do anything in the bottom of the 8th. And in the top of the 9th, we got 3 up, 3 down. That was a good game. That was a complete team win. Just a complete team win. It was a good win. Look, we did all the small things right. We didn't make too many bad mistakes, no mental mistakes, no errors mentally. We just did what we had to do and we got the W. You know, um, that was a nice, solid win. We didn't do too much. The ballpark played big. A lot of these flyouts were home runs everywhere else, you know. But then here we go. We got for everybody wondering where Will went, we had some technical difficulties. He cut out. I'm just going to keep going and then I'll get his opinion on everything after he rejoins. So here we go. This game, we've got the Sunday game, the 10-run rule game. We've got William Schmidt, our
My
winner,
guy.
and
Yes.
Wicker was a loss. We go, this was a 10-run rule. We got 10 hits, played a clean game. We just left 8 on base. Start going through this one. Nothing for anybody in the top of the first or the bottom of the first. Same in the second inning. Third inning, we get a single and we score 1. Then Dardar flied out and we got a sack to score Brown. Simpson advanced to second and Aaron Beatty advanced to third on a balk, and Milam scored on a balk. Nothing for Notre Dame, nothing for UCF, I'm sorry. In the bottom of the inning, top of the fourth, we don't do anything. Bottom of the fourth, nothing happens. Aaron Beatty, another home run to left field
Yes,
for a 2
indeed.
RBI shot. Dardar walked. Simpson walked. Braun grounded out to third base on a sac bunt to advance the runners. And then Caraway flied out to left center and scored Dardar on a sac fly. Then Curiel singled up the middle to score Simpson. Nothing in the bottom of the fifth, nothing in the sixth. And here we go. LSU's batting in the top of the seventh. Curiel doubled the center field and scored Braun and Simpson. Then Brown singled through the right field to score Harding, and then nothing happened in the bottom of the seventh, and LSU won that game 11-0.
Ooh, that's what I like to see every day.
Run rule. So before we go any further and hit last night's game, here were the all-tournament Tigers. In the infield, you've got Zach York, Stephen Milam, and Seth Dardar. Outfield, you had Jake Brown. DH, because Cade Beatty struggled behind the plate all weekend long, but he was fantastic at the plate. Cade Beatty. And the MVP of the tournament was William Schmidt. Schmidt did a fantastic job. He needed that win, and he needed a game like that. He needed an umpiring crew like that to help him out. You know, a bigger strike zone really helped him out, and that's what we got, you know. They played 4 games up to this point, and they got on the plane on Wednesday and flew to Jacksonville. Then they played those 3 games, and on Sunday they got back on the plane, and they came back to Baton Rouge, had 1 day, rest day, probably had to go to class, had a little practice, and BP worked out. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt with this one, you know, and we are going to talk about the disaster that was last night, which started off good. You know, we lost that game and the loss went to Paz, and Magnesius Miller got the win. Surprisingly, we only had 1 error. We left 9 on base. Let's just get into it. The first inning, Curiel singles to left field, and then York homered to right field, put us up 2-0. And I was feeling pretty good at this point. But then here's where the trouble starts. Hit by pitch. A walk scores a run. A hit by pitch scores a run, and then a single scores 2. Then they change pitchers when in the bottom of the second they change pitchers. LSU gets nothing. Scoreless inning. We get a single to right field to advance to third. McNeese does that and scores 3 runs in this inning. And they score another run off a throwing error by Jake Brown. They score again. They scratch 3 in this inning. Nothing for us in the fourth. In the fifth, McNeese goes down. Then we get 2 in the bottom of the fifth to bring us closer. The sixth, we get 1 on Pearson scores on a fly out by Curiel, sac fly. Seventh, we don't get anything. They don't get anything. We don't get anything. Then the eighth, Pearson brings us within 1 with a solo shot to left field, and then nothing for us. And we get 1 hit in the bottom of the ninth, and we fall to McNeese 6-7, 7-6. You know, not our best showing, but we had tournament MVPs. I brought all of that up about the mental notes. I mean, the mental mistakes, and the fatigue. And I said all of that about them playing those games and coming back to those games, being on travel days. They were tired. They were tired. They had a few mental mistakes that they need to clear up. Pitching wise, we got to eliminate the walks. We got to throw strikes. You know, we need to play clean defense. We need to throw strikes, eliminate the walks, the bad pitches, the hit by pitches. I don't think we've ever hit that many people in a row or used that many pitchers. I don't have Will here with us, but I'm going to go into the Powerhouse pose and hold on, guys. I'm trying to work through this technical difficulty. Just give me 1 second and bear with me. All right. I was saying I don't have Will at the moment. He's not in. So what I'm going to do is just give us. I'm going to give his Powerhouse pose for week 2. I don't know his I don't have his reasoning, but I'm going to just give you his Powerhouse pose. Then I'm going to give you mine and give you the reason why. So for offense, for Will, he's got Caraway, Curiel, and Dardar. I think that's one. Caraway first, Curiel second, Dardar third. At defense, he's got Aaron Beatty 1, Milan 2, Evans 3. And then pitching, he's got Schmidt, Sharon, and Evans. Then for mine, and I will give you my reasons why. Offense, I've got Cade Aaron Beatty. He's really good at the plate. He needs to make up and figure out some stuff like holding on to the ball, maybe not frame every pitch. Instead of stabbing at it, let the pitch come to him. Hey, you back?
Yeah, yes, sir. Like I said, like that stuff should update on its own. So I'm not sure why it let me open it and then not still had the update.
Yeah,
But
was it the update?
yeah, apparently, I mean, but it let me open it the first time when you sent it to me. So I was like, I'm not sure. It should that stuff should already be updated. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry about that. But
Yeah, so I went ahead and that's fine. I went ahead. I didn't know if you were going to be back. So I just finished off the game recaps,
yeah.
gave the all tournament Tigers. I gave your Powerhouse polls. So I'll let you go ahead and real quick and give your reasoning.
All right. So like, so I'll just go from like offense. Offense, you could just basically take your pick of the litter. There was a dominant offense showing. They've continued their trends on offense, brother. So just, I know I saw when I know before it went live, I know you had the big three, Aaron Beatty, York, and Brown. It's tough to argue that, just like all the long shots, the moon balls, as they say. But I went a little different. I went Caraway, Curiel, and Dardar. I think Dardar narrowly missed for me last week. But like these three guys was very steady at the plate. Just the RBIs better did, especially Curiel had a better offensive showing this week. Well, this last week, these last several games. But like I said, the offense was just so dominant. You could really just pick your poison with the guys. Defensively, there was more activity outside of the mound. So I went with Aaron Beatty, Milam, and Evans. We both had both had the pitchers. They had a lot of activity with the pop flies. So I just Milam was still very steady. Aaron Beatty had a lot of throwouts. So just I liked what I saw on the defensive side. Pitching. I went with Schmidt, Sheeran, and Evans. Schmidt was just dominant. In the other day, so it was an easy choice for number one. I went with Sheeran because I looked at even with his appearances, he had a very solid showing in Jacksonville. And last night against McNeese, even though the team lost, he had them in position to come back and win. He kept McNeese off the scoreboard. He was really clutched down the stretch. That's what really gave me the edge with Sheeran. Evans again, just a really solid outing. Cooper Moore, narrowly missed. I think I feel like Evans was better, a little bit better on paper, just with the statistics relative because they had the same amount of inning production. Even I definitely was more on that note as well. But I think Sharon was really played clutch this week.
Yeah. So, like I said, I went with for offense, like I said, I can't knock Aaron Beatty. I gave him a number one. Just the production wise, he was good.
Mhm.
So number two and three could be almost interchangeable. I gave it to
Yeah.
York because he had some clutch hits over the
Mhm.
weekend, and he started our scoring off last night with a 2-run shot. But that shot, I gave him the two spot because that shot in that tournament at that ballpark, just
Yeah. Yeah.
that dude thought he
I
had a
don't blame it.
double. He stopped.
Yeah.
He stopped at second, and he was throwing his hands up to call timeout to target, and the umpire was sitting there like this, dude. It's a home run. Just go.
I'm being
So,
nice. I love it. Well, a
so I
humble
gave it
guy.
to him. Brown, was solid up until last night. I wrote my Powerhouse post before the McNeese game. He was
Yeah.
solid up until last night. But here's where we've got a big
Mhm.
difference on our polls. Let's see if I can get him back before I talk about this, but we were hugely different with the defense. My guys for defense are Milam, Evans, and Simpson. I'll go Milam because Milam he makes everything look so easy. Plays that you would think are just watching him are just easy ground balls, and you got easiness. He just makes them look like that. They're not that easy. They're difficult plays. You know, as much as Milam makes it look like any of us fans can go out there and get out there and field those ground balls, they're not like that. I got Simpson because he came in the left field and he just made two amazing throws. One of them should have been an out if Cerna could have held onto it at home plate, and he
Yeah.
pegged somebody at
I agree.
second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'll give it to Evans just because it's very rare you see a pitcher that's an athlete and can get down and
Yeah.
field his position. And he did it once and almost had it twice. But what I was saying before you cut out there, me and you are you have Aaron Beatty second. Aaron Beatty's not even in my top 10 for defensive players this week. The mental mistakes he made,
Yeah, I think just like
he can't hold on to the ball behind the plate because he's stabbing at it. His best plays and our best pitches were when he let balls come to him and he just took it. You know,
right.
he let the ball
Yeah, I think what
travel and
helped.
come to him and he just took it. And,
Yeah.
we've got that. But he needs to improve dramatically, exponentially on defense for me to even consider him for this list going down the line. I know I gave it to him last week,
Mhm.
but I noticed some stuff this weekend sitting so close. I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of.
I respect
But
that.
that's the beautiful thing about this. That's the beautiful thing about this poll, though. I can see that, and then you can have him on top of your list. We can see things different ways.
Yeah, and that's the thing of what I enjoy about
Yeah.
because, like, I know, like, you have a deep baseball knowledge, and I just, like, I think what gave last week. Well, when you look on paper, statistically, like catchers get a lot of putouts, but I don't like to look at that because, I mean, because they record the putout on the third strike. I think that's more of a pitcher stat. But like, I think what made the difference for me with him was just this week was just the fact that he had some throwouts. I was like, because the infield and the outfield were more active this week than as opposed to the week one. So that's why I gave him some recognition there. Milam and Evans, like, it was, Milam was still steady, of course. And he was just like, did you see that? I forgot who they played. It was like a bare hand left hand throw to first. It was sick.
Yeah.
I was like, man, dude is so
Like I
dominant,
was
man.
saying before you
Yeah,
came back in, Milam's
so
my number
dominant,
one
man.
guy this week for the Powerhouse poll
Yeah.
because he made plays look so easy
Yeah.
that fans out there were probably like, I can do that. And it's because he's so smooth with the ball.
Yes, absolutely, man. So technically
He is so
sound,
smooth
man.
with it. Yeah, he's fundamentally sound. He's so smooth with it. He just is one solid motion going up, picking it up, and making the transfer. Going to my pitching, it's hard to pass up a guy at number one who was the tournament MVP. So I went
Yes.
with Schmidt. Then to me, Cooper Moore might end up being our Friday night guy by the time all is said and done,
I like
you know?
that. I would like that. Yeah,
So I got him. And then Evans had a really good showing this week.
he
He
did.
looked like he came back, barring a few unfortunate plays and stuff that might have been the sod being new, I'll give it to him. So that's my top three. And it ended up being the Sunday guy was the top guy, the Saturday guy was the middle guy, and the Friday night guy was the last guy
Hey, starters, man.
for me.
Yeah,
But they looked really good. Honorable mention for fourth place, I got Gavin Guidry. Again, he just came out and, did his thing. He looked really good on all his appearances. But like I was saying before when you were cut out, I just kept going. And the all tournament Tigers for this week were in the infield, Zach York, Stephen Milam, and Dardar. Outfield was Jake Brown. At DH, because like I said, in my opinion, he just wasn't very technically sound behind the plate. He
yeah,
got it at DH because that's the thing. You can't take him out your lineup because he put so much production in the lineup.
right. Yeah,
So DH, you got Cade Aaron Beatty. And then, like I said, tournament MVP, William Schmidt. I think he had a 7 strikeout game,
yep. That's it. That's right.
but kind of got after last night, I've set my tone setting Tiger of the week, and it's tone setting Tigers of the week for this week.
There you go.
The whole pitching staff.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree, man.
I don't think in that Magnies game, we had so many we gave up so many runs by walk and hit by a pitch.
It
We
was
need to
not
take
pretty
these 2
short, man.
days. No, you've got 2 days off, and today and tomorrow, y'all need to get your rest done, get prepared mentally, and come back. You've got a 4-game stretch from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Show what you can do. Be sound, throw strikes, slow it down if you need to. Or thing that helped Casey Evans, in my opinion, is he sped it up from the time he got the ball, got the pitch
Hmm.
call, and he was in the windup and throwing. And that speed up to me is what really helped him. It's little things like that, fundamental stuff. Just go back to your basics, Worry about your technique and how you throw. It's play pitch and catch and let your defense do what they do. Not every game they're going to have 3 errors.
Yeah. I completely
So
agree
that's
with you
my
about the tone
tone setting
setters.
Tigers.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Like I just can't disagree with you at all. Just like I said, I was thinking about it earlier, but I was like, you know what? And I'm glad you confirmed that because like I know I started off the last 2 weeks basically with the pitchers, but that's just been a comparison to the offense. That's just been the Miles been the weak spot. But just to think about this, like last night they used 10 different pitchers last night. So
Yeah.
10 different pitchers last night. Now, granted, like it's still early season, non-conference play, so you still want to. I know Jay's trying to experiment, which I get that. It makes sense, but it just the showing was just not good,
Yeah.
man. It was just not good enough. 10 pitchers, that's pretty steep. And that's putting it nicely, but just
Yeah. And
when you they just got to clean it up on the mound. The Star's been pretty deep, pretty steady for the most part, but just just trying to see like particularly the bullpen. I just want to see what the bullpen like. Can they take that next step? I don't need you to go deep into the game, especially on the bullpen, but can you clean, like you said, clean up the pitches? Like, can you get more efficient and cut the counts down? And that's this is what I want to see from them the next few days.
yeah, let's see. We had 6 walks and at least 3 hit by pitches.
Yeah,
We need to clean that up. Clean that up and we'll be fine. Just trust you. Go back to your basics. Go back to your fundamentals. You'll be fine. You'll do good. But just come back and get into it. Just go back to the basics. Just go back to playing pitch and catch, and
absolutely,
everything
no
will work
question.
out. One midweek game ain't gonna kill you. Look, the UCLA lost last night. I think.
And like
Let's
four
see.
top teams lost. Yeah, it was UCLA, us.
Yeah,
I think Arkansas lost. It was four. It was
I
four because
think
they
Arkansas did lose.
yeah.
Georgia
And
Tech,
that
Arkansas, LSU, Arkansas, UCLA, Georgia Tech all lost last night. So one loss isn't going to kill you, but You need to go in the long run. One loss isn't going to kill you. It's the first loss of
Right.
the season.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, these late game comebacks relying solely on the bats to get you over was going to come back and bite us.
And
And
that's
that's exactly what happened last night.
what I always say is this: I know you need points. I know you need runs to score. You need scoring, but games always starts on the mound. It always starts on the mound. Like you got to get the mound in
Yep,
order and keep it that way. I always say that it's a defensive sport by structure. Have that foundation in place.
exactly. Yeah. And, you're going to make mistakes. Stuff like that's going to
Of
happen,
course.
but it's how you come back and bounce back is what matters. And I think they'll be fine. But I've just got one more shout out for this weekend, from this weekend, because
Hmm.
I completely forgot about it. But Chris Stanfield was named the Live Like Lou Foundation Fan Choice Community Impact Player of the tournament.
Shout out, man.
So
Yeah.
shout out to him. Would love to have him back. Hope he gets
Yes.
healthy real fast.
Yes. For sure.
But before we go, you have any closing thoughts?
The only thing I gotta say is, brother, in all seriousness, I thank you for being the leader of this show. You either set the tone, you are the ultimate tone setting tiger. You teach me about the sport. Cause this is my first I've been watching baseball for years. This is the first time I've really been charting it day to day just to really get a better understanding and feel for it. And it's been fun. It's been a great, interesting ride so far. Just trying to get a better understanding, see what you see, just bounce off each other. So it's been fun
Yeah,
so far.
it has been fun. I've been tweeting every game. I didn't tweet last night's game because I was a little tired from track back home and having to go to work the next day. So I didn't go to the game yesterday either.
Mhm.
But rumor has it we're going to Vegas next year for the little tournament. So
Let's
save in, put your vacation in now because I'm dragging you to Vegas with me when
hey,
we go.
we ain't going to no casino, no club. I don't do that stuff. We'll go to the games, but we're gonna eat.
Now, with the crew we go with, you might have to, make a
Look,
few exceptions.
there's no exception. No exception to that, brother. Look, I love you. Look, they can keep that casino right there.
I ain't said you had to drink or nothing, but you just
Oh yeah,
you
you
might
didn't have
have
to
to
say
go
that.
with it.
Look, you didn't have to say that. I said it for you.
They play. They play.
Look,
You know.
God bless you.
Yeah.
You right.
But
Now,
rumor has it we're going to Vegas next year. We'll see how that actually goes. I would love to see how they play out there though, because the ball's not going to fly like it does over here.
yeah,
You know. But that's next season. We gotta worry about going to Omaha this year and making that. And the McNeese State game's not going to kill you. I think if it
no,
does anything, it gives you an early wake up call. It gives you an early wake up call and tells you, look, we need to work on X, Y, and Z to be better. You know.
yeah,
And it was the first loss of the season. It wasn't a terrible loss. It's not one that you're going to look at like next year and say, oh, they got 10-run ruled by McNeese. No, we lost by 1 run and was really a throwing error away from that Jake Brown should have kept in his back pocket from keeping that thing. And probably they might still be playing if Jake Brown keeps that ball in his pocket. Who knows? But, that'll do it from us. It was a great week of play, and we look forward. We'll have probably 5 more games to talk about next week because they play Monday. Let's check the schedule real quick. Bear with me
So
here.
Friday we got Dartmouth, Saturday Northeastern, Dartmouth again on Sunday, and then Monday Northeastern.
Okay, so we only have 4 games because here we go, March. On the 4th, they go to ULL on Wednesday, so we'll have 4 games to cover next week. But, this is the most games they've played through week 2. I think they've played 9 games, and it hasn't even really been 3 weeks yet,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. There's a lot of heavy
So,
workload. But I mean, I like it for 'em. Just getting that feel.
yeah, it's a nice little workload. I like how it's going. I think this loss is only to make them stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not worried. Yeah.
But those tickets for that ULL LSU game next week at ULL,
Hmm.
the cheapest tickets are $200
For UL,
for ULL. At one point, my
two
uncle said they were
hundred.
$500.
Goodness. That is wild. Like, oh,
Yeah, for ULL, it was $200. It's their World Series, though, so
yeah, fair enough. That is crazy.
yeah. But that'll do it from us here. As always, I enjoyed having you on, Will.
Likewise, brother. Thanks for having me.
Everybody have a great day, a great night, a great morning, whatever you have, just make it a great one. And remember to like, follow, share, subscribe, do all the things. Let's build this up to something nice. TikTok's been doing really well. YouTube has grown a little bit. I've been posting daily. I skipped yesterday because I ran out of stuff, good quality content to post. It was just a bunch of repeating. So, but we're growing. We hope to grow it more. That'll do it from us. Have a good one.
Sir, you too.